In this interview, you're going to learn about two heavily underutilized opportunities to leverage in order to generate over 6 figures per year of clients coming directly to you. Today, I have the pleasure of bringing on Sher Allen, who has been consistently breaking 6 figures per year in GCI with her ideal clients coming directly to her. But the key here is that she's leveraging two platforms that most agents just overlook, which is Facebook, but also her website. A personal website that is generating the majority of her clients, and she breaks down exactly how to do it. We're going to break down the exact posts that she's making, how she's converting her content into clients and closed deals, and some insane personal branding strategies in order to identify your personal brand and generate a ton of business just by being yourself, having fun, and showcasing what makes you happy. So this is going to be an incredibly valuable interview because she talks about things I've never heard anybody speak on before. Now, 2 quick things before I bring on Sher. Number 1, I will link all of her content below so that you can check it out, so that you can get some examples of what you can do for your content. And number 2, I'll link her calendar below because she mentors agents one-on-one to help them scale their business. And if you would like to chat with her as well about partnering, you can do so in the description. So let's bring on Sher and talk about how to leverage organic social media as well as your website, with a caveat. She also has lost her Instagram, and she talks about the importance of not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So let's dive in. All right, Sher, so super excited to have you here and really excited to kind of unpack the journey that you've been on within real estate, building a personal brand, leveraging social media content, and being able to attract a ton of clients through some platforms that most people seemingly aren't spending enough time on. So really excited to have you here, and would love for you to kind of just start with a bit of your story, what got you to this point, and then we can start diving into some tactical strategies.
Thank you, Mike. I'm excited to be here. I want to first talk about how I am using social media for my real estate business. I've been an agent for 7 years. I started in Los Angeles, moved to a new city as a new agent. I lived here in Atlanta before, but I was away for 8 years, and I worked in a totally different business prior to moving back. I was in the beauty industry. I worked in the interior design industry. I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 plus years. I did not go to college. I went straight out of high school to working. And so all I know is building my own business. I can remember having a beauty industry, working in the beauty industry, and using the yellow pages back then, just really trying to build a brand, just thinking of my name starting with the A, my name for my business starting for an A, because you're a lot younger than me, but I'm sure you remember the yellow pages.
Yeah.
The yellow pages, people would start with the A's, the B's, by the C's, D's, all the way to the end. My name starts with the S. I had to start a business that started with an A. And back then you didn't think that, you didn't realize you were building a brand or thinking about your personal brand or building a business brand. But that's kind of how I built a beauty industry business way back. I mean, like early 90s. Coming into real estate, I just kind of took those same principles. I moved to Los Angeles. I didn't know one person when I moved to Los Angeles. I just randomly moved there. My daughters graduated from high school, and as a mom, we always want to we take care of everyone else. So by the time they graduated, I knew I wanted to move to a new city. So I moved to Los Angeles, and I actually built a beauty business in Beverly Hills. I had a salon in Beverly Hills. I opened a salon just by using social media. So I knew that I could take those same principles and use them towards real estate when I moved back to Atlanta 5 years ago.
That's amazing. It's so cool to see how the principles of building any business can apply to real estate, especially, and one that's very near and dear to my heart is the personal branding side, which is where I'd love to start. And obviously you could see you've got interior design experience from your background, but
thank you.
It's incredible to see that you've built, a beauty industry is competitive. So is real estate. And so, a lot of agents struggle to stand out amongst the crowd, especially, a market like either, in Georgia or California, very competitive markets, a ton of agents. And a lot of people tend to put a lot of emphasis on the brokerage brand. And what I've seen based on me, being in production and then making a transition to coaching is the personal brand is what actually matters. People decide to work with you because of you, irrelevant of where you hang your license. So what did that journey look like for you transitioning into real estate and starting to build your own personal brand? Because you've kind of hopped around from a couple different brokerages, but you've continued to build your business because people love you. So do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yes. It's funny because my mom had wanted me to get into real estate out of high school. I mean, I'm talking years ago. And I was just like, no, that seems so boring. That looks so conservative. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. So, to think to work in a field that seems so, back then it was more so about the brokerages. But I was so lucky when I lived in LA, I worked at a brokerage. My broker was all about us building our own brand. He was all about social media. I mean, we're talking 2016, 2017. He's all about social media, YouTube, just really, he's like, when you create video content, don't mention the brokerage, mention you, talk about your brand. Clients are coming to you. So I kind of had those principles embedded in me early, which was super important because I knew that already. And I knew I didn't want to go around and talk about a brokerage because like you said, I've been at 6 other brokerages in 3.5 years. EXP is actually my 6th brokerage, which is crazy because one brokerage, I was only there for 2 months. And, can you imagine me, I'm not going to call any names for these real estate brokerages, but I mean, I've worked everywhere from big box brokerages to smaller brokerages, flat fee brokerages, boutique brokerages, all here in Atlanta. And can you imagine me, I work here now. Oh, now I work here. I always knew that my personal brand, clients work with me. They don't work with the brokerage. They come to me. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so glad I had those principles embedded early in my real estate business. I mean, it was the first brokerage I worked at in LA. So I already knew that clients were going to work with me. And it was a little challenging when I moved here because coming from LA and going to Atlanta, things are a little slower.
Yeah.
And, it's a little bit of a struggle at some of the big box brokerages. They want to check your branding, and that's one thing I love about EXP. We're free to be ourselves. We're free to brand our business. We're free to brand ourselves versus the brokerage. And if you want to brand the brokerage, that's fine. But, I always try to really tell agents, clients work with you. They don't work with the brokerage.
100%. And you stole the words out of my mouth. That's one of the things that I did as well is, coming to EXP. I love that, you get complete flexibility of your colors and your branding. And you get, they understand the power of you. And,
yes.
So talking about that, I'd love for you to kind of talk to people about how you built your personal brand, because a lot of people think a personal brand is just, okay, I've got a logo, I've got colors, I'm good, I got a brand. And you from being in the beauty industry and then transitioning into real estate, that is just the tip of the iceberg. So, what did your journey look like building your personal brand, or any advice you can give to people looking to start their brand?
So what I usually tell people is, the one thing is I was coming from a totally different market. So I already knew that I'm going to be me, right? I can remember meeting an agent and she's like, "Are you a real estate agent?" And I'm like, "Well, yes. Just because I have on jeans doesn't mean I'm not a real estate. I'm still me, right?" I'm me first. And I actually had a friend tell me, you have to dress like, you have to dress up as a real estate agent. And I'm going to be me. And so I knew coming here, the first thing I did was I took a look to see what all of the agents in this market was doing, right? And I know it's easy for agents to think, oh, let me see what other agents are doing. I'm just going to do what they're doing. I did the total opposite. I'm like, you guys are dressing like this and you're doing this. I'm going to be me and I'm going to do this. So I truly just showed who I am on social media. If I'm traveling, it's not all about showing houses. No one wants to be sold to, right? You think about those people who come in your DM on LinkedIn, who's trying to get you to sign up to sell insurance. Like, Or do you want to make any extra money? Like, no one wants to be sold to. So, you think about your personal brand, you think about showing who you are. People want to work with me because of me, not because of anything else. They see me traveling. They see me, with my family. They see me cooking. I do a number of things, and I showcase those things because that's who I am. And when you meet me, that's who you're going to get. You're not going to get, I don't have a representative online. I'm just me. And so I always tell agents to show who you are. A lot of times we are scared to get in front of the camera. We're scared, we think that we have to be like everyone in our market. You don't. Most people come from different backgrounds. When you come into real estate, it's rare that people come out of high school into real estate. And so we've worked and lived these past careers that I think is so important for us to use in our real estate business. And I think a lot of agents are not doing that, unfortunately.
100%. I love that you said that. And I think that unpacks an even deeper lesson, which is getting clarity on you. I think a lot of people don't take the time to actually sit down and think, who am I?
Yes.
And when you can start to do that, it becomes so authentic. Like to you, you just alluded to the fact that you love family, you love travel, you love cooking. And, when you start to show that through your content, which we'll get to, other people who have those same passions are going to relate to and connect with you so much more than, you just showing houses. Nobody can connect with a house, but
Yes.
they can connect based on passion. So I love that you kind of shared that and just said, put my foot down, I'm going to be me. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, as we start to transition the conversation towards social media, you could probably echo the fact that it's way easier to create content when you're just being you. Because a lot of people seem to struggle with creating content because they're trying to be a different version of somebody else versus just being themselves, So let's talk about social media. There's so many platforms out there and everybody can pick their poison, but what did that journey look like for you in terms of picking a couple platforms and getting started?
Well, let me go back a little bit. When I moved to LA, I did not know anyone. And we're talking 2010, right? So everything was kind of new. Pinterest was new. Instagram was new. Facebook, everything was new. And so I kind of logged into every platform. I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of social media. I have 2 Pinterest accounts, 2 or 3 Instagram accounts, but for my real estate, and Facebook is my big one that I use a lot. That's how I really connect with people. Instagram, you don't know if people are really following you back. You don't know if you're really connecting with them. I love LinkedIn and LinkedIn and Facebook because we have to be connected to be friends, right? So Instagram, we don't know. We don't know if they follow us back. We don't know if they unfollow us. But to stay connected with people, you have to be friends. And so I honestly I'm using Facebook and, I tell people don't do what I'm doing. I'm doing the most, okay? I'm doing a lot. I have a lot of accounts and I use them all differently. I do cook, DIY, sew, paint. I may randomly do something, and you're right. If it's something that is natural and you're just being you, it makes it easy for you to create content. I think people a lot of times want to get online and read the script that they think they're supposed to be reading because they see other agents in their market doing that. And that may work for them. That may come natural for them. But a lot of times I find that if I find myself struggling or procrastinating, not wanting to do put the content out, it's something that I don't love. And so I try to just connect, do the things that I love, but still keep it real estate related. I do have to sit back and say, this Zara haul, is that really real estate related? It's not. So I probably shouldn't put that on my real estate channel. But I do have other channels that, I just love creating content. And, I tell people just, focus on one, but if you can focus on 2, and 2 is better than none. 1 is actually better than none, but 2 is good, And I don't think people, a lot of agents realize, when you start your social media, you cannot have a private account, so like, how are we going to find you if it's private? I go to, and I look up agents sometimes and I find that their account's private, I think put out the content that you're comfortable putting out. If you're not comfortable, don't post it, or don't use your name as private. I don't know. I don't know.
100%.
It's interesting.
Well, there's a really cool talking point that kind of stems off that I'd love to get your opinion on. A lot of people have a focus on family, and they're doing this for their family, and their kids are everything to them. I also know multiple people who have been hesitant to show family because of whether it be they're nervous about safety, or they're nervous about all of these other elements, or maybe just they want to have some sort of privacy. With you being, an incredible mother and having kids, what has that journey been like for you in terms of including your family and your personal life in your content?
So my daughters are actually grown. They're adults. So if they were younger, I still think that I would showcase, I wouldn't make it too personal, but if my kids are at a soccer game, you're going to connect with those soccer moms. I connect with people that are interested in interior design and fashion because it's just who I am. It's, I'm showcasing who I am. I mean, if you're a mom and you can showcase dinners that you're cooking for your family, you can, you don't have to show everything. If it makes you uncomfortable, I always tell people not to show it. But we do want to, clients do want to know that you're a mom, or clients do want to know that you're taking a family trip to this resort. Or, of course, you're not going to say, I'm here right now, come get me. But, you can showcase it after. It doesn't have to be all real estate related, is what I think a lot of agents don't get. Clients are connecting with us. They're not connecting with the brokerage or the houses. Like you said, the houses that we're selling. Anyone can go out and show homes, but clients want to work with us. I actually have a friend, he's a pharmacist and he's a real estate agent. And he connects with so many nurses and doctors. And like I said, we all come from different fields. Someone may want to work with you because you were in the military, or how are they going to know if you don't ever say anything, right?
Of course. Yeah, that makes complete sense. And I think that lends itself to another talking point that I get asked a lot, which is people saying, okay, Mike and Sher, I'm going to start putting out content that I love. Maybe I love horses or climbing or whatever the passion happens to be. They tend to struggle with the concept of talking about things that are just a passion, but they're always questioning, how does that generate clients? And so, because I have seen people that have put out a bunch of stuff, but they haven't really made it known that they're in real estate. So they're kind of hiding behind the cloak of their passion and not also making it known that they're a licensed agent here to serve, help, and provide value. What has that been like for you in terms of, you've got all of these incredible talents and passions and hobbies, and then making sure that people know they can come to you for real estate? All of that stuff is not consuming your entire life. You're still the go-to woman.
Yes. You know what? I think, people don't see that these things blend together, and they want to just, like you said, I think the first thing they tell us in real estate is don't be a secret agent, right? We all come from different backgrounds. Sometimes people are embarrassed that they've changed careers. I don't know if it's embarrassed or they're just scared to kind of put it out there. What are people going to think? Unless they're paying your bills, why do you care what they think about you being a real estate agent? I've heard everything from everyone has a real estate license. Well, I have one too. So, do you want to buy a house? But I think it's just a matter of mixing them together. Of course, like I said, no one wants to see only homes. We don't only want to see homes, on your feed. We want to get to know who you are. So we have to show that we are showing houses. We are closing houses. People love home tours. Even if it's just showcasing a home tour, people love new construction. When I moved back here, again, I said I didn't have any clients. I took it upon myself to go out every week to look at homes. And I guess you can say I kind of was faking it until I make it. And what I say is, I was getting familiar with the neighborhoods, the communities, finding out what you can get in this neighborhood at this price point. And I was showing that to my social media so they know that I am a real estate agent. So for those newer agents that are thinking, I don't have any clients, how am I gonna, show houses? I haven't had any closings. Go out and look at homes in your area. Film homes for your YouTube or just for a reel. You have to let people know that you are in real estate. It can't just be all DIYs because then they're like, well, what do you do? You kind of have to mix it up. So just showing a mix is super important. It's important.
I love that. That's incredible. And so, you've touched on a few different platforms. So we've got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then afterward, I'd love to kind of touch on the incredible YouTube channel you have, which kind of educates agents on how to do what you're doing, which is super cool. But picking a platform like Facebook and LinkedIn, those are two of the less common platforms I see people leaning into, especially today. A lot of people are saying Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And so if knowing that you've got a multitude of different channels, if we were to pick just one of your Facebook pages and LinkedIn, and somebody's saying, I've got a passion, maybe it's beauty. What does that look like for you on a weekly basis in terms of creating content, coming up with ideas? Like, what does that posting schedule look like? Somebody that's looking to get started today saying, okay, Sher, I've got my passion. I'm going to start posting on these platforms because I want to connect with people. But like, what the heck do I do? Where do I start?
So one thing that I love about LinkedIn, and that was one of the platforms that I really leaned in hard on when I moved here, because one, people are proud about their jobs, right? I work here. This is my resume. This is what I do. So I'm like, okay, Amazon is moving here. Let me find the people who work at Amazon. People don't realize LinkedIn is like a golden ticket. You can go in there and you can really search your area. You can search it down to jobs, companies. If you know companies that are moving to your area, you can connect with these people, and then you just, again, be you. You show homes, of course. LinkedIn's a little touchy. You're not going to put anything on there that's too risque. You still have to keep it a little PG. LinkedIn is not TikTok. TikTok, you can, and Twitter, X, you can almost do anything. But on LinkedIn, you still have to be professional. And we are real estate agents. And, I found it easy for me to connect with people over there because I started kind of connecting with other people's connections on LinkedIn. And every day I would wish everyone happy birthday. I don't care if I didn't know you. This is when I was new. I had the time. A lot of new agents, you have the time. So we know that people's birthdays are coming up and it's just a quick happy birthday. I'm not asking them for anything, but that makes people go look at my page. And of course, you need to have things on your page of things that you're doing. And so LinkedIn was actually a really gold mine of mine. I actually have 13,000 connections over on LinkedIn, which is pretty rare because most people don't have a lot of connections over there. But I really dug in and did a little research on new companies coming to the city, the colleges in the city, the type of clients that I want to work with, the type of jobs. They have jobs. We're here to sell houses. And so we're looking for people with jobs. And so LinkedIn was kind of like a gold mine of mine. I love that. Yeah,
that's incredible. And like you say, a lot of new agents kind of harp on the fact of like, well, I don't have money for X, Y, and Z. And when you unpack that, there's two commodities, which is time and money. And if you don't have money, you've got time. And if you spend your time properly, you can make a lot of money. That simple process of just a happy birthday or a congrats on the new job goes a long way because most people aren't willing to take the time to personalize things anymore. And so is that a similar approach that you've taken on Facebook?
Same thing on Facebook. I had the time. Yep. I wish everyone a happy birthday every day. But before I even started with the happy birthdays, I did it for a full year. I just decided one January, I'm going to wish everybody a happy birthday because they come up. You get the notifications that it's, everyone's birthday. I wish I would have made it a little, like today, it could be a personal message. You could create a quick little video or something for them. But I would just, I use the same principles. I made sure that my feed had content on a mix of homes, a mix of photo shoots. I have a friend that's a photographer in LA. We do a lot of trips and road trips, and she's a vlogger. So, she'll give me content and just make sure I have a variety of things on there. And then, wishing them a happy birthday, because we all know now with social media, only 5% may really see my content. We don't know we don't know where our content goes. And so this helps you stay connected with people because, if they're going to my page, then okay, Facebook or LinkedIn is thinking, oh, they know each other. They are connected. So we're going to feed them more. That's really how I built my business. And I never spent a dime. I never spent one dime. I didn't spend one dime. I made sure I had my own website. I made sure I was blogging on my website. I was always driving traffic back to my website. I never depended on the brokerages for anything because I only found my brokerage home since EXP, which again, I said is the sixth brokerage. So I depended on me, not the brokerage or not anything else.
I love that. And it's so cool because a lot of people overcomplicate nurturing. And nurturing can be that simple touch point that is free, that doesn't require you becoming familiar with this, maybe a logistically heavy CRM. It can be just that simple. But, you touched on websites, and I think that's going to be a really important lesson. But before diving into website and blogging, you've gone through an experience that some others might have had. I've had it, and a lot of people are fearful of it, which is Instagram. And your Instagram being removed. And I think a lot of agents tend to put they put all of their eggs in one basket and just wait for what could happen if TikTok gets banned, and all the agents that have put their eggs in that basket, not really understanding that you don't own your following, you own your email list. And a lot of people have a big following with not a single name in their email list. And if that following disappears, you're in deep trouble. So what happened? And so, you're posting on Instagram, you lost it, but your business continued to grow. What did that journey look like?
Oh man, I wish I had the exact date. It was June of 2022. I don't know if you remember when Instagram went down, we were all stressed. Remember the year that Instagram went down? And we were like, I was visiting Texas at the time and I'm like, do they not have Instagram in Dallas? Like, what is going on? Why is my Instagram not working? But imagine waking up and your Instagram is completely gone. Like, we foster all of our photos, we put our photos there, and I had all these different buckets of favorite restaurants and favorite places I want to travel. I felt like I was so sad. It's a really dramatic feeling. Like it makes you feel like you lost something, right? Mm-hmm. But the good thing is, I've always focused on, like you said, only thing we own is our email list. We own our list. So I did have, on Instagram, I lost like almost 13,000 people. And I've been on there since 2012. I think it was 2011 or 12. It was an old account that I had that I started years ago. I used it for another thing. And then I transitioned it into real estate. But, it was really the backbone of my business, is how I connected with agents. And, the worst part was I was not able to even use my name after my Instagram was taken down. It took a while for me to get my name back. Now that I have my name, people think I unfollowed them. I'm like, I unfollowed you and I have 3,000 followers. I mean, okay. But it was a terrible feeling. And it really just woke me up to say, we don't own any of these platforms. We only own our email list and our personal website. The website that you have created on your own that you pay for separately than, the ones that you get from the companies, we really don't own those. We are renting those. And people are not, I don't know. They're not, I don't know. I think they just think this is my platform. It's not. Unless you're Mark, unless you own these platforms, they're not yours. And so losing my platform was a traumatic experience for me. But, I still had a good email list of agents that I was able to email out and let them know that my Instagram isn't there anymore. Although, a lot of them I was connected with on Facebook. I mean, there's people that I still can't even remember, I mean, they're probably like, I wonder what happened to Sher. People that just you won't find anymore because when it's so many people online, even if it's 2,000 people, it's hard to really know who all you're connected with. But it was terrible. So, that's another thing that I really tell agents is stop depending on these platforms. You really have to figure out a way, to give a lead magnet, to give something where you can collect an email from potential clients, and not only use it for if you lose your social media, but to connect with agents. To connect with clients, sending out your newsletter. Oh, and I'd like to talk about my newsletter too, because I have a super cool newsletter that I send out weekly. It's not just all about homes. No one wants the market stats. No one cares about your brokerage's generic email about how to water grass in the spring. No one cares about that. But when you're sending out something of value, which I send out a weekly email, and it's called Homes and Happenings. It's a little bit of real estate, but 4 fun things that are happening in the city that weekend, right? So I send it out on a Thursday, and clients look forward to it because it's something new every week. So I find that, we want to have so many touches a year, but this is 52 touches in a year, and it's valuable content, that you're getting and you're looking forward to opening. And if you see me at any of these places, stop and say hi. It just keeps you connected with your city. It keeps us connected with what's going on in the city. I don't know if I went all over the place, but it's all connected to us building an email list versus depending on social media. We love social media, but I'll be sad if TikTok is gone, but I am not dependent on TikTok to run my business. We can't.
100%. I love that. And it's the same with me. My email list is the same size as my YouTube subscribers. And so
Wow.
if heaven forbid something happened, it would suck, but it's not the end of the world. And
Right.
for a lot of people that would be. I really want to unpack your newsletter and the importance of website, because a lot of agents don't put much emphasis on it, like you said. But even when I look at the agents in our organization that are crushing with TikTok, the videos that are crushing with TikTok are not the bottom of funnel, ready to buy or sell today type videos. It's here's what's happening in Denver this weekend. It's here's, the top 5 things you should do when you visit, Sarasota, Florida, or something like that. It's just genuine content that connects with the average person, and people love it because it's value driven. So when we look at your newsletter, what are you doing to get people to sign up to your newsletter?
So a lot of, I try to drive a lot of traffic to my website through blogging. So, and it's local content. It is, things that are going on. It's springtime, things that are going on around the city in the spring, as well as me mixed in with all of my stuff that I do, all of my fashion, it's just a place for me to put content. But I remember an agent reached out to me and she was looking for fashion for real estate agents. And she sent me a picture of me. I had come up on Google because, she's like, oh, your blog came up. And so the blog keeps me, let's start with my email. My weekly email, I always attach my blog to it. So it helps me to blog weekly. And it's always content that clients can use. So a lot of times they'll come to my website, they'll sign up. I have buyer's guides, seller's guides, investor guides. And then we already have a lot of people's emails. Even if you're starting with 50 emails, you're starting with something, right? We have a lot of friends, family. We have people's emails. I think it's important for us to start that email list. We have to start it because you already have, you don't think you do, but you already have people's name, numbers, phone numbers, past clients. Check in your phone. I'm sure in your phone, if you just go through the list of people that are in your phone, you can easily get their emails. And, it's important for us to have our own list for emails to send out something.
Agreed. And with the blogs, is that sort of like a creative outlet for you? Are you writing that yourself, or what has it been like in terms of getting that website going and then starting to actually create that frequency and cadence of being consistent with it?
So back in the day, I always say that I've had like 40 lives in this lifetime. A friend of mine, we met in LA. We were actually trying to be bloggers at the time. And so I started blogging in 2012. I'm not the biggest writer. I'm more of a visual creator. I'm really not the biggest writer. So I'm so happy that ChatGPT has come out. I can write it out the way that I write it out, plug it in there and have it fix it for me. So a lot of it is more, in the beginning was more images, a little bit of writing, but now it's full writing. And not only am I just blogging on my website and sending it out to my clients, I am actually pinning these things to Pinterest. So, Pinterest actually still drives traffic back to me, my website, my local information, my local content. Pinterest actually shows up on Google as well, And I'm I'm not telling people to use, I know I'm on every platform and I love it. Like, I actually love social media. I'm not saying to be, if you focus on one or two things, your business can really grow. You don't have to be everywhere, because I'm crazy with it, but I love it.
Again, and when you find enjoyment, after a period of time, it starts to become fun and you can add more to it. But I love that you say just start with something, and you can grow over time. And I think it's really great that you touch on all these search-driven platforms, and Pinterest is one that is heavily underutilized. And if you are a visual person or you are properly leveraging a website with blogs, it's an incredible opportunity. You've got a YouTube channel that educates other agents on how to do what you're doing, websites, blogs, the whole 9 yards. What does that look like for you in terms of what type of content can agents look when they come to your channel that's going to be linked in the description? And what are some of the common mistakes you see people making when actually trying to use a website to get business?
My YouTube channel, I decided to only focus on helping agents. At first, I was showcasing homes, I was DIYing, I was doing a little bit of everything. But as we know, YouTube, you really have to be focused on one thing. And that one thing now is helping agents. I am helping them with websites, email marketing, which is so important. I'm using Flowdesk, which I love Flowdesk because it's unlimited. It's beautiful. One, it's created by two women, and it's visual for me, which I love. And then we can have unlimited contacts in there, and you can set up forms. You can set up a lead page. You can do a number of things with it, and it's only $19 a month. Like, it's so cheap. Yeah. But it helps us to stay, it actually also helps you stay on brand. So I'm using my YouTube channel to train agents. I haven't gotten into making a lot of content for EXP yet. Of course, we know I love I'm never leaving EXP. I don't know if you know, Mike, I actually have EXP Realty on my license plate on my car. So I cannot go anywhere. I can't go anywhere. EXP cannot even kick me out. I still would stay. But I'm using my YouTube channel to really help agents focus on their personal brand, becoming the mayor in their town, not depending on, YouTube is actually another place that is, you think about how many agents in your market are on YouTube, how many are on Instagram? If we go and we just look at Atlanta agents on Instagram, thousands. YouTube, there's probably 40. You're competing against 40, 50 people, but it is work. It's not easy, and it is work, but it is so worth it if you really dig down, if you hunker down and really work on, put the time and energy into YouTube, which is what my focus is this year. It's YouTube.
I love that. That's incredible. And like you say, I see this all the time. People will say, well, Mike, there's like these other agents in my market that are doing YouTube, and I'll look at their market and they'll be like 5, and they're like, yeah, but like there's competition. I'm like, dude, there's like 50,000 on Instagram in your market. There's 5 on YouTube. Like, get over it. It's okay. And chances are they're going to be different than you. It's going to be a different gender, race, age, language. Sometimes you could speak a different, like there's so many opportunities for you to stand out by just being authentically yourself, which I absolutely love. And, I have so much excitement around the fact that you have this YouTube channel on the fundamentals that most people don't talk about. A lot of people, and my channel included, talk about a lot of the, sexy, shiny stuff that people get really excited about. But the truth is, and ironically, I had this conversation with my executive assistant this morning, email still to this date has the highest return on investment of any form of marketing. And he was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man, it's wild, and nobody's doing it. And I think because less people are doing it, it stands out even more. So talking about, your channel and some of the things that you're doing, you've also got some templates and things like that agents can get started with, because I think that would lend itself to the question that I, mentioned previously of what are the mistakes you see people making? They'll do a website and they do it all wrong, or it's all jacked up, or they don't know what to blog about, and you've kind of created a solution for that. Do you want to kind of talk about that?
Yeah, and you did ask me this earlier, but yes. So when I moved back to Atlanta, I knew just from living in LA, being in the hair industry and the interior design business, most people just don't have a website, which is so weird for us as real estate agents. We Google the pizza that we're going to buy, right? Like anything that we're going to purchase, we go to Google, we look at the reviews. If they don't have a website, I don't even take you serious, honestly. I'm just like, is this a real business? And things move so fast right now. It's like, oh, you don't have a website? Okay, next. I totally forgot you even existed. So, you think about the most expensive asset that most people are going to buy. We are not showing up as professionals, right? We don't have websites. It's alarming how many real estate agents don't have websites of their own, or they have their brokerage's website, which imagine me blogging on 5 other brokerages websites before I came over to EXP. I mean, could you imagine, like, where is all that content going to go? Your brokerage. I was at KW when they were moving over to Command. What if I had been working on that other website and now all of my blogs are gone? Or, what if your broker decides we're going to switch companies? Where's your website going to go? Where are all your blogs, all of the information that you put in, all of the SEO, all of the traffic you've driven to your website? Where is that? Where is it going to go? So it's best, honestly, to have your own website, one that you own. I'm going to die on the hill on this. One that we own. So I built my website on Wix 6 years ago when I moved here. And it's a website that I own. I actually had a client. I went to visit them to do a listing presentation. And then when I come back to list her home, I actually was at EXP. She was like, oh, did we move? I'm like, oh yeah, we moved. But she didn't know, because my business has never skipped a beat. I have no lag in my business. If I move brokerages, my website is the same. I just go change the logo at the bottom of it. My website now is on Wix. I actually have website templates that I created for real estate agents, designed by a real estate agent for real estate agents. And this is a website that you own, that you're able to blog on, that you're able to use for your business. You just pay Wix. You don't pay me. You pay Wix. But I do have a free one page for people if they want to try it out. It's just a one page, coming soon. You can put a lead magnet on there to start collecting emails. But just to get an idea on how to use it, it's just like Canva. Everybody knows how to use Canva. It's drag and drop. Put your information in. Add your domain. Most agents don't even own their own domain. They're at Gmail, which is weird. You guys, we have to start treating our business like a business. If you opened an ice cream shop or a coffee shop or a pizza shop, you would not have 50 names. You would have one name. You would treat it like a business. And we have to be more professional as real estate agents. And I know there's people that's like, I've never done any of that and my business runs fine. That's fine. But you have to think about, you don't know how much business that you're maybe missing because you're not showing up online, or we can't only show up on social media. We have to have our own email list, our list, and our own website, so we can just be professionals. Just be professionals.
Yeah, it's raising the standard, and again, it's like you say, so many people stay stuck in their ways because it's worked in the past, but the past doesn't define the future, and a lot of it is leaking through the cracks. Like you say, it's how much better could you be doing if you had a proper foundation built. And yes. I love that you've been able to help with that. And again, I'm going to link all of your incredible content below. The last thing that we always like to talk about, Sher, is, and you've briefly touched on it, but why EXP and why specifically this group? So you've kind of jumped around from here to there. I've been at multiple brokerages before, and many people are always curious, why did this end up being the right fit for you? And what can people expect when partnering with you to get your help to scale their business?
So EXP, oh man. Back in 2017, everybody was in my DM about EXP when I had gotten my license. And I think that's what one thing that turns people off is, people just start bombarding you. But when I really honestly, after moving back to Atlanta, I worked at so many brokerages that were just so behind. Just the thinking was old school. I remember classes of, let's take these pies to our clients, and that's fine. But what about social media? What about online? What about showing up online? So a lot of it just was a little behind for me. So the last brokerage that I was at, the broker was on me for a good 2 years. Just come, I'm gonna help you, and then I show up. And of course, as we all know, a lot of it is just fluff, smoke and mirrors. Didn't do anything. And so I ended up leaving there after 2 months. But on my search, I thought, okay, where can I go now? I need something that's new. I need something that's innovative. I need something that's thinking outside of the box, that's going to give me the freedom to be able to build my business the way I want to. And then I don't know how, I just was like, let me take another look at EXP. And I think there are a lot of things that I didn't know. I didn't realize it was one brokerage. Of course, there's a bunch of franchises with other brokerages. I didn't realize it was one brokerage, but once I can remember being up at like all night, I think to 3 a.m, almost 4 a.m, just going down the deepest rabbit hole of watching YouTube videos. Of course, I came across you, I came across Benita, and I thought, okay, so let me find out exactly how does the numbers work. And once I started adding up my money, because I think a lot of agents don't know their numbers, which because I've been an entrepreneur for so long, I need my money. I need my money. I need to know where my money is at all times. I started adding up my numbers from the brokerage I was at, which, they have the what's the fee that they have when franchise fee?
Franchise fees.
Yes, the franchise fee. Even after you cap, you're still paying a certain percentage. Once I started adding up my numbers, and then I looked at a bunch of different groups. I actually spoke to a number of different groups. I didn't just join. I think a lot of people I'm going to join my friend, and then they leave. I'm like, what value can I have that's going to help my business? And then I came across you guys, the Wolf Pack, which is everything. If you guys are not over here at the Wolf Pack, I'm sad for you. But once I really looked, I actually jumped on a bunch of other calls from other groups. But once I really took a look at EXP and I found you guys, I just was like, this is it. This is it. I mean, it has to be, it's the only way that I can really build my business and think about my family. Everyone preaches their family, but they love their broker. How do you love your broker more than your family? I don't get it, but once I really took a look and I saw that how it could benefit me for doing the same thing that I'm already doing. I'm selling houses anyway. It just gives me other avenues to partner with agents. If I want to partner with agents, build my business the way I want to, build my brand the way I want to, to keep it all the same, the way that I want to. EXP is amazing. I'm telling you, they're gonna have to give me a call and kick me out because I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving. So after that, I just was like, this is it. EXP is it. I love it. And it's kind of a trend here in Atlanta for everyone to get their broker's license. Everyone wants to be a broker. Everyone wants their own brokerage. But then they tell me, don't you guys recruit? I'm like, do you not know that you will be recruiting? With your own brokerage, you will be recruiting. But I think, if people really took a look at EXP and saw the value for what you're already doing, if someone comes to me and say, what brokerage should I go to? I'm never going to say, go to XYZ. I'm going to say, come where I am. I'm not out in anyone's DMs trying to get them to join EXP. If you want to partner with me, I guess I can lead right into my value. I love helping agents. I have a small team of new agents, and they can call me any time of the day. But partnering with me is you fully have me. I'm here to help you with your business. The company rewards me for helping you. It's not that you come and you're just left out on the island on your own. You fully have me. You have my number. We can jump on Zoom. The Wolfpack has a number of things already built out to help your business. And it's funny because people are always like, KW has the best training. I'm like, for 1982 they do, but for today they don't. They don't have the best training. That training is so old school. If you are interested in social media, it's not only social media. You know, one thing I love about the Wolfpack is, you know, it is social media heavy, but if you want to sell some homes, you can sell some homes too. There's training for that. You know, we have training for just about everything on top of, sometimes you need someone to just call and, you know, what do you think about this situation? What do you think about, you know, what should I do about this? And that's what I am. I'm 100% here. This year and moving forward, I'm really focused on helping agents because, you know, we all had to start from somewhere, and it's a lonely island being a real estate agent. We really work by ourselves, and why not have a community of people or, you know, of people that can really help you. I'm actually closer to the EXP agents that live all over the place than I've ever been to any of the agents that live here in the city from the 5 other brokerages, which is saying something, right?
100%. And I think, you know, you hit the nail on the head. It's so exciting because we're now partners. You know, my kind of forte ends up being on the social side and especially video marketing, YouTube. Yours happens to be a modern take on the traditional side with website, blogs, newsletters. And the beautiful part about this is you partner with you get both of us. Now you have everything you need to build a long-term, scalable, sustainable business, and people that genuinely not just care about you, but have a vested interest in you actually succeeding and winning. So, Sher, I love it. Beyond grateful for everything that you've shared with us. And again, guys, I'm going to link all of her incredible content below, her various assets and resources. And you want to make sure to book a call because I think we're all well aware that this is not going to be the easiest year for a lot of people. And if you're not where you want to be, you need to align with people that will get you to where you want to be, right?
I agree. Thank you so much, Mike. This was amazing. I feel like I could just talk. As you can tell, I can talk.
I love it. Well, you brought
a
ton of value, and that just means we'll have to have you back. So,
I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Guys, go check out her incredible content. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.